mid-December in English Harbour West. The days are short at this time of year, the air crisp. There's no snow yet, but the dories have been hauled up, and the draggermen will soon be in for Christmas. Before long, the windows will glow with coloured lights, and there'll be a tree glistening in every house. The harbour will ring with laughter and merriment as the mummers make their rounds, shuffling from house to house, singing, dancing, continuing the ancient Christmas tradition that survives only here in Newfoundland. Up in the school, there'll probably be a concert. Yes, the full 12 days of Christmas are celebrated here in Fortune Bay. But Christmas is more than a celebration here in Fortune Bay. It's a time when families are reunited. You see, a lot of South Coast men must leave these shores to find employment. Most of them work on ships, on coastal boats and freighters here in Newfoundland, on draggers and longliners in Nova Scotia, and on grain carriers in the Great Lakes. In recent years, some Fortune Bay men abandoned their seafaring tradition to try their luck in the oil fields of Alberta. Some made the mistake of coming back home wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hats. The sight was enough to inspire two local musicians to make up a song. Saltwater Cowboy was an instant hit for Bud Davidge and Sim Savory, Sim and I.
A newbie's a newbie wherever he goes. It don't seem to matter the cut of his clothes, the gleam in his eyes and the way that he walks, and the true newbie tone in the way that he talks. Oh, by the Lord, dying by the thunder and gee, how are you doing, you son of a bee? You can't fool your old man by dressing like that. You're still just a newbie in a Calgary hat. Now over the years when things aren't the best, a lot of our fellers head out for the west. But everyone knows that they ain't gonna stay. They'll always come back with those up a long way. No one suspected we'd ever have oil. The newbies took off for Alberta a while. They traded their rubbers and the warm Worcester caps for rodeo boots and big Calgary hats. Oh, by the Lord, dying by the thunder and gee, how are you doing, you son of a bee? You can't fool your old man by dressing like that. You're still just a newbie in a Calgary hat. Now a saltwater cowboy is new, you'll agree. It seems we've created a new kind of breed. With our hats and our boots and our talk about oil, we even talk newbie in a soft Texas style. Oh, by the Lord, dying by the thunder and gee, how are you doing, you son of a bee? You can't fool your old man by dressing like that. You're still just a newbie in a Calgary hat. You're still just a newbie in a Calgary hat.
Western music, country music, jigs and reels, they perform it all. But most popular are the songs about life in Outport, Newfoundland. Bud and Sim found that out when they recorded Saltwater Cowboy.
Well, that's the song that started it all, is it, Bud?
Yes, I guess you could say that. That was the song for the title of our first album in 1981. And sort of a kind of a humorous kind of thing. Comment on the situation as was happening at that time with the oil coming into Newfoundland and some of our friends coming back from Calgary, having been out there in the oil business and so forth. So we tried it on stage a couple of times. It worked pretty well as a comedy kind of thing, and we were new into the recording business when we did the first album, of course. And we thought we would give that a try, and not having tested the waters prior to that, we didn't know for sure how it would work, but we were sort of amazed at how well it did work, really. We still get people asking for that song in the clubs, time and again. The accordion, as you know, is a fair part of the show that we do in our records. Very distinguishable features, matter of fact. So.
And when we're getting ready to do an album, we always try to get material, that hasn't been recorded before. It's not new material, but it's we haven't heard it on record before, and usually it comes from people we know, and usually their name is attached to the particular number that we're doing,
With jigs and reels?
With jigs and reels. We did Vince's tune, which was a person who used to play for Square Dances there one time. I can remember him. And I got that jig from him. And
Pius's Favorite.
Pius's Favorite, a good friend of mine, a jig that he came up with, and was popular with him.
This must make people pretty proud.
I think they do appreciate it in a way, Our new album has another jig from a gentleman that lives there now, Sydney's jig.
So there's more to just doing it to make
There's more
money.
to do, and I'd like to mention who I got it from, and like I said, I think they appreciate it in some way,
Now, Sim, you were born here in Belorem, were you?
I was here in Belorem, yes.
And Bud, I believe you were born
Bay Nord.
Bay Nord,
Which is just about 10 miles down the bay, I suppose.
It's abandoned now. Nobody there.
Nobody there anymore, no. It went with the resettlement back in the 50s and 60s.
And that was the subject of another song that you're...
And that's the subject of another song, something very
Another
close to my heart anyway, that experience. So we have another song that'll be out some of these days, and that along these lines. Looking back at it, say probably from 20-year perspective, I guess, but the hurt's still there.
They're out for people without port ways, but there's nowhere to use them, and now it's too late. And they curse on the one who uttered the phrase, resettlement now while resettlement pays. Now he sits on the dock and he looks across the bay, and he watches his memories as they pass on the waves, and he wonders what cards fate might have dealt if he told those officials to go straight to hell. 'Cause you can't take a man from the soil where he grew, unless you know how to solace his mind when you do. And for God's sake, don't say how much greener's the grass, 'cause those uprooted people saw it wither too fast. You can launch a house easy and tow it away, but the home doesn't move, it continues to stay. And the dollars you make, sure they'll keep you alive, but they won't soothe the heart and they can't ease the mind. He spits on a plank and the memories roll. The spring sun is shining, there's a lop in the cove, and the shoreline is dotted with lobster pot boys, but his boat's full of weeds and there's tears in his eyes. Don't take a man from the life that he knows and tear up his roots and expect him to grow. 'Cause if he's unwillingly forced to decide, he'll move without leaving and never arrive. Don't take a man from the life that he knows and tear up his roots and expect him to grow. And for God's sake, don't say how much greener's the grass, but those uprooted people saw it weather too fast. Those uprooted people saw it weather too fast.
Young men here in Fortune Bay still go to sea, on the big stern trawlers these days. Their fathers sailed on banking schooners, but you don't see those tall, proud vessels anymore. Their time is over. But the stories, the legends live on. One especially chilling tale is of the mysterious disappearance of the schooner Marion 70 years ago. They say she was scuttled at sea. Most of her crew hailed from Boxey. The tiny community never really recovered from the loss of so many of its young men. Uncle Steve Blagden remembers the Marion. So does Aunt Kiz Blagden and her husband, Uncle Cecil. Uncle Cecil, he spent a lifetime at sea, most of it as a fisherman on the Grand Banks. He's been shipwrecked. He knows what it is to watch your dory mates die. But the loss of the Marion was a hard blow for him and Aunt Kiz, for they had so many of their relatives and friends on board. Uncle Steve was 16 years old and fishing on another schooner when the Marion was lost. His account of what happened captured the imagination of Bud Davidge.
So she left here in early June, I suppose. That was Caitlin.
I suppose around
Trip, was it?
15th of June, I suppose. Yeah. She leave there in Jackson, and she come out to Nickel and baited.
I see.
And she baited up there what they call spyglass, you know, it's up there around Nickel, so it's cross length to reach on that side.
Uh-huh. So you guys were there in your schooner at the time when this fracas took place?
Yes, we were on dock, so
Uh-huh.
not long, and he was on the other dock.
Yeah. That was a regular sort of thing, wasn't it?
Oh,
Both same
yes.
pier.
Oh, you had to go to dock, yeah. That's the only place you get on dock, isn't it? Because there's no slick mooring then.
Yeah. But some of the fellows who were on the boat got off. Wasn't there somebody who got off the schooner and wouldn't go back because they knew something was going to happen?
Reed got over there.
Oh, yeah.
That was his brother. That was his brother's.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves us. Mark Malls went in his place down here. That's all I went was for Mark.
Yeah, Mrs. all got eight was Reed.
Yes, that's right. Well, I guess he know because see the captain said that on that night he told Jones, he said never mind. He said there's more room on the sea than there's on the land.
So he was going to get it back on.
Well, he knew he was going to get it back on. To get out.
Yeah.
And it's 10 o'clock that day. I suppose she leave. If I left that day around 10 o'clock. I suppose around 3 o'clock she left. Somewhere around 3 or at past 3.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, around 8 o'clock, she was back alongside the King again.
But no sign of the Marion.
No.
And from that time on, there was nobody knew exactly what happened.
Know that. We would, everybody had a doubt, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody was there and everybody was going on. They didn't even know what was going to happen. I figured that when she went out, that's when she went out for. You know.
Yeah.
There's no other way for her to go out because it's for her to come back some pair again. He told on himself anyhow when he went out and come back again.
So what about the people down back here now in Boxey? Did they have a suspicion that something was...
No.
No, they had no suspicion. Say no. Cause
So, but what time would they be start to worry about? Because they're not coming back.
When the old schooners all coming off of their trip,
Yeah.
well, nobody didn't court for the morning, and she never come, and the situation they asked, well, they never seen her. And I mean, they never give a whoop till August.
And there was no storms or anything that could cause it? No.
But they never give up the ropes. I mean, what, she wasn't going to come back till August.
So what would they have done? They rammed the schooner, I suppose? Or
yes, he ran. Oh, definitely. He ran. He cut her right in two. So that's what he done.
Yeah.
That's the only way he could do it.
Just didn't take the men on.
No one can know for sure what really happened to the Marion and her crew on that fateful day in 1915. But Uncle Steve, Uncle Cecil, and Aunt Kiz, and others of their generation remain convinced that the Marion was purposely run down 70 years ago.
He told all that before he died.
The stories that smolder in the memories of our older people, of life and death long ago on this coast, of heroism and mystery and tragedy, stories that will eventually be lost, unless the younger crowd can somehow keep them alive. With the end of isolation and the advent of television, the old art of storytelling is dying. That's what they say, and perhaps it's true. But if the stories aren't passed on, how will the next generation know what life was like on the sailing vessels, and how our people lived on this coast in the olden days? Well, there's more than one way to spin a yarn, more than one way to make a legend live forever.
In 1915, on the 10th day of June, at Burke's Wharf, the Marion lay, prepared for the banks as was custom. Capeland for bait. The wind from the northwest to find summer breeze, as Ike Jones from St. Jack's he steered. And the boys in the forecastle made plans for that night when they'd all go ashore in St. Pierre. Some were uneasy, there'd be trouble, they said, 'cause Ike Jones was noted to fight. And at the Café de France on the last trip he made, a Frenchman had threatened his life. The challenge to fight was issued that night, while the cheap French liquor ran free. The French captain then warned the Marian's men he would answer the challenge at sea. Next day the Marian set sail again, and so too the story relates. The French beam trawler weighed anchor as well, and followed close by in her wake. She's a Fortune Bay schooner heading out for the banks with fine hardy Fortune Bay men. But some on the quay were rumored to say she'd never be heard from again. The fate that befell the Marian's crew and their schooner will never be known. Not a trace and no tidings were ever again to be heard by those waiting at home. Some say the Frenchman was true to his word, some say he confessed before he died, that he scuttled the Marian and settled the debt, not taking one man o'er the side. Families of Skinners and Ballast and Miles grieve for their loved ones on shore, and the Newfoundland story of lost to the sea was told as so often before. She's a Fortune Bay schooner sailing out from St. Jack's with a fine crew of Fortune Bay men. But never no more will she pass by the light with her jib flapping into the wind. No, never no more will she pass by the light with her jib flapping into the wind.
Oh boy, good.
Don't seem like Christmas if the mummers are not here. Granny would say as she'd knit in her chair. Things have gone modern, and I suppose that's the cause. Christmas is not like it was.
Mark, what's the noise out by the porch door? Granny, 'tis mummers, there's 20 or more. Her old withered face brightens up with a grin. Any mummers, nice mummers, loud in. Come in, lovely mummers, don't bother the snow. We can wipe up the water, sure, after you go. Sit if you can, or on some mummer's knee. Let's see if we know who you be. There's big ones and small ones and tall ones and thin. Boys dressed as women and girls dressed as men. Humps on their backs and mitts on their feet. My blessed, we'll die with the heat. There's only one there that I think that I know. That tall feller standing o'er alongside the stove. He's shaking his fist for to make me not tell. Must be Willie from out on the hill. Now that one's a stranger, if there ever was one, with his underwear stuffed and his trapdoor undone. Is he wearing his mother's big 42 bra? I knows, but I'm not gonna say. Don't suppose you find mummers would turn down a drop. No homebrew or elky, whatever you got. Not the one with his rubber boots on the wrong feet. He's enough for to do him all week. Suppose you can dance, yes, they all nod their heads. They've been tapping their feet ever since they came in. Now that the drinks have been all passed around, the mummers are planking her down. Be careful the lamp and hold on to the stove. Don't swing Granny hard, 'cause you know that she's old. No need for to care how you buckles the floor, 'cause mummers have danced here before. God, how hot is it? We'd better go. I allow we'll all get the devil's own cold. Good night and good Christmas, mummers, me dears. Please God, we will see you next year. Good night and good Christmas, mummers, me dears. Please God, we will see you next year. Good Christmas. My mind wanders back to my youth at just about this time each year, when the snow softly falls and the merry bells ring to welcome the Christmas time cheer. In a quaint little town by the side of the sea, what happiness Christmas would bring, where friends rare as diamonds contented would be to dance and to laugh and to sing. It was come into my house, though humble and small. Let's drink a toast to us here. To the 12 days of Christmas, we'll drink to them all, with a wish for a happy new year. How each year at Christmas I think of it still, no matter wherever I be. In fancy my mind wanders back to my youth, that snug little spot by the sea. It was come into my house, though humble and small. Let's drink a toast to us here. To the 12 days of Christmas we'll drink to them all, and a wish for a happy new year. It was come into my house, though humble and small, and let's drink a toast to us here. To the 12 days of Christmas we'll drink to them all, with a wish for a happy new year. To the 12 days of Christmas we'll drink to them all, and a wish for a happy new year.